One of the weirdest parts about building a PC versus buying a pre-made computer from manufacturers such as Apple or say ASUS is that your computer generally won't come with a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth adapter. There are some motherboards out there that come with some ugly antennas, but those kind of motherboards aren't generally the ones that people are going to buy. And so if you bought a PC that doesn't already have Bluetooth, you're kinda out of luck there. Now, while this omission does keep the price low, it is something that can be rather annoying to deal with and actually very confusing to figure out. There's a lot of different ways to achieve what we're trying to do here today, but luckily you've got me to help you figure this all out, so we're all good now. Subscribe, please. Now obviously, I could just give you a solution and get it over with, but it's important to know what it is that you're actually putting into your computer. And trust me when I say some of these can be very important. Before we can even talk about any of these solutions, we need to first make sure that you understand what the heck is going on with all these different Bluetooth versions. Generally, you'll find Bluetooth 3, though maybe that one's kind of old, so you'll definitely see some 4 and 5.0 and different variations of those. You may have guessed that the bigger number is better, and you'd be right. While Bluetooth 4.0 is perfectly fine for most of your needs, getting a 5.0 adapter will be the best course of action and probably the best bang for your buck at this point. Each progressing version comes with more and more bandwidth, which means that your sound will be the best with the newer version. Bluetooth 5.0 also has added capabilities of supporting 2 separate headphones at the same time, which is pretty cool. Now the basics of this is that we're going to need a receiver and a transmitter that can send and receive Bluetooth signal for your computer. The 2 main methods that we can generally use to provide this is internally and externally. Internally, you'd need to connect a Bluetooth connector card into a PCIe slot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's probably a good sign not to go with this method. If you are comfortable with what I just said, then I could certainly suggest going this route, though it will cost you. Internal means that you don't have to waste a USB port on your computer. Internal also means that it's going to be rather expensive. Most of the cards that I found on the internet came with Wi-Fi included as if to help justify the price difference. While this is going to be the most effective solution to the problem, I think that the vast majority should skip this solution. Okay, so let's talk about the real answer here. Get yourself a nice little USB dongle that will do exactly what that giant internal one can do, but for a fraction of the price. The price difference really comes from the fact that you have a much less complicated system for how this item works. The internal methods have to connect up to the motherboard through the PCIe expansion slots, which is certainly a far cry from just the universal nature of USB. Having a USB dongle also means that you have more freedom in where you want to actually place it. For example, you may opt to put the dongle on the top of your case rather than on the back of your motherboard. This can help your range and also give you a better quality depending on your setup. Now, a quick search on Amazon will yield plenty of results, and with a wild range of prices. Initially, I opted for a cheaper $10 dongle, and it was awful. They claimed it was Bluetooth 5.0, and well, I believed them, but I was so incredibly wrong to do so. The sound quality was awful, and when I turned on the higher data transfer, aka spatial audio, the dongle became all but useless. The troubles aren't over though. The adapter that I bought from them was from a random Chinese brand, and it required a massive 0.5 GB driver to work properly. Why on earth would a driver need to be that large for a simple Bluetooth protocol? If you guess spyware, then we're on the same page here. Now, there's no proof, but the signs are there, and it's best to assume the worst than, just think that it's just bad programmers, though it's very possible in this scenario. For about a year after that whole debacle, I didn't bother getting Bluetooth for my PC at all. It was a sad little period, but at the same time, I just didn't care enough to just, go out and return another Bluetooth module. This was until I found out that ASUS actually makes Bluetooth modules. This was a big surprise to me, and frankly, a very welcome one. I have had a really great time with ASUS products recently, and so I was very excited to check out this product firsthand. It's more expensive than the rest of the garbage available at $20, but it certainly felt worth it to me if they could fix all the problems that I had to begin with. The connection was so easy, it made me want to rip out my hair in frustration when thinking about just how awful the other dongles were. It was just plug and play. Windows automatically grabbed some drivers out of thin air and that's it. And what about the performance? Well, I'm happy to report that's nearly perfect, even with spatial audio systems turned on, given almost every scenario. I only had some trouble with Overwatch 2 beta initially, but then it seemed to fix itself over time. The experience with the ASUS product itself has been amazing. But here comes our second problem: Windows. Now, I'm a bit biased. I use Macs on a daily basis, and I will always advocate for macOS over Windows. But most of the time, I will still admit that Windows is actually pretty awesome. In fact, with Windows 11, it's downright amazing. But using Bluetooth on Windows is like using the original iPhone in 2022. It just sucks. There is such poor optimization, and even with Windows 11, there are so many remnants of old garbage that keep coming up. And all of it starts with the pairing process that could take anywhere between 1 second to a few minutes. While the device itself might connect, Windows won't detect it as a sound device. And then there's the possibility that a device could just get completely stuck on your computer. This means that you can't connect to it or even remove it from your computer. It's just there and it's stuck. The only way to fix it, in fact, is to completely disable Bluetooth from your computer and then restart it. And by completely disable, I mean deleting the driver. What on earth is going on at Microsoft? I'm not giving this information to scare you off. I think Bluetooth is absolutely awesome and it does work most of the time. However, I do want you to taper your expectations a bit because the reason it's not working could very well be problems with Windows. However, I don't want to give off the wrong impression here. While Windows can be a pain to deal with, it's more of those one-time problems. Once it fixes itself, you're pretty much good to go for the most part. ASUS does have pretty great support as well, and they do suggest you to contact them with any sort of issues when dealing with this adapter. This was a lot of information, but this should help you understand the basics of what you need in order to get Bluetooth on your PC. Now, if you like this video, how about hitting that like button? If you didn't, well, the other button works all right as well, unfortunately. Oh, and how about hitting that subscribe button while you're at it? Well, anyway, that's all I got for you today, so I'll see you all in the next video. Catch you guys later.